Hi crafty folks, Amy here with Amy's Wears, and I have a fun Halloween card to share with you using some new layered stencils. Now this is the layered Scaredy Cat stencil. This is new in the October release at A Colorful Life Designs, and it is super cute. It's got two layers, one layer with the hill and the cat silhouette, and then another with some bats in the background and some eyes for the cat. Now here are a couple photos of the finished card. It is single layer, so it's nice and flat, easy to ship, lightweight, because I did work directly on the card base. So I'm going to jump right in and show you how I did it. To start, I did put some pixie spray on this layer of the stencil to hold it down, just because that tail is a little delicate and the whiskers, and I am going to push it down right into the card base with this brayer, just to make sure it has a nice connection with the cardstock. And I am working on a card base of 110-pound Neenah Classic Crest Solar White. I am going to use my blending brushes from the Rabbit Hole Designs, and I have the Paradise Found Spa collection of mini ink pads from Catherine Pooler. So I'm going to use a handful or a few of these cool colors in the selection. I have Dreamcatcher, Juniper Mist, and Royal Treatment are the three colors that I'm going to use. And I am starting with the teal color right at the bottom of the composition. So right at, the crest of the hill, you're going to see this pretty teal color, and then I will work in to the purple and then the darkest color, Juniper Mist, on the top. So I do start from the bottom and work my way up, but I do want it to be really pigmented and rich in color. So I do then work from the top and move my way back down. So this is a fun way to kind of create a twilight look, but still using really pretty colors that suit the eye and don't make it look too menacing. So I'm just careful here, going a little bit lighter handed over the tail just so I don't kind of knock it out of the way. I can be a bit rough sometimes with my ink blending, as you may have seen. But I have some splotches here, so I'm just kind of coming in, working at it, trying to fix those mistakes. And at the end, you don't really end up seeing it. So as I lay down more color, it does kind of dry back. As it kind of soaks into the paper and dries back, you don't see my mistakes as much. And then I do come in, as you saw in the finished photos, with some splatter, so that will also kind of offset any, imperfect blending that you might have. So here I kind of have the first layer. It's still a little bit muted in spots, so I do come back in and work my way from the top down to the bottom. And this is such a fun and cute stencil. I really love it. I was trying to think of ways to make it a black cat, in which case what I could do is do some ink blending on like a black piece of cardstock, and then instead of using the colors, I could do some blending with white pigment ink. So then that way the silhouette of the cat would actually be in black. So you could make it like a black, menacing Halloween cat, if you will. Now here for my splatter, I have this little spray bottle of water, but I put Perfect Pearls in it. So not only do you get the benefit of the water and the water reactive ink, but you also get a little shimmer left behind from the Perfect Pearls. So I'm gonna pat that with some pattern paper, wow, paper towel. I'm not awake yet, guys, let's be real. I haven't had my second cup of coffee, and I'm not fully reanimated yet. So there's that. Anyway, I use paper towel to sop up some of the extra water, and then I get that cool reactive splotch all over the ink blending. Now I'm going to carefully remove this layer with the pixie spray, and that's going to reveal this adorable white cat. Now I wanted the eyes to be really piercing green, so I pulled out this Electropop ink pad. These are by Rena Kay, so Gina Kay's daughter. They're these really bright neon ink colors that I have in my stash, and I am using a blending foam to lay those down, just because I don't really want to use those with my blending brushes because they're really intense. In fact, this ink didn't even want to come off my layered stencil here. I ended up having to spray it with some alcohol. I have 91% alcohol, and that did end up taking it off. So just bear that in mind. If something gets stained, maybe try some alcohol, and depending on what type of dye it is, it might actually take off the stain. So here I'm just lining up the bats in the composition where I want them, and I just masked off the eyes, and then I'm just going to use a blending foam and this black soot distress ink just to kind of lay down these bats in the background, just for an extra little design feature. So I'm really pouncing it on there. I want it to be nice and dark because it does have to compete with those darker ink blended colors. And then I do have a micron pen. I wanted to add a little bit more detail to the eyes. So I'm just doing a line across the top and then a line down the center to make it a cat eye. So it's just giving it a little bit of detail, but no drawing skills needed here at all, guys. I promise. You just basically outline the top of the eye and then just do a line straight down the center of the cat eye. So that's all I did there. And then I did get a white gel pen just to add a little bit of interest onto these bats. I wanted it to kind of look like maybe the edge of the wings were kind of drenched in moonlight a little bit. So I'm just doing a little tiny highlight in a couple spots on these bats just to give them that little pizzazz and help them kind of stand off the background a little bit. So I'm just kind of working my way down the wings just to add that little bit of highlight. And then I decide the stamp that I want to use. I have this nice mixed sentiment stamp set that I recently got from scrapbook.com. I featured it on a haul video, but basically it's got Happy Halloween both in the scripty fonts and the smaller text. But I thought the scripty fonts would fill up that hill space really nicely. It's kind of like a built-in perfect place for a sentiment. So I'm just going to go with these two scripty fonts, kind of position them where I think they'll look good on this hill. But after all the work I've done, I don't want to risk not liking it or not having it lined up well. So what I'm going to do is load them up in my Misty, but I'm going to grab this little piece of cellophane here and just stamp on that just to make sure that I like the way that it looks. So this will help me gauge the placement to see if it looks good, and also the color. Because initially I thought I was going to use that teal color, but I thought it doesn't quite stand out enough. So I decided to do the Juniper Mist. And then I like the placement, I like that color, so good to go. So I'm just going to remove the plastic and then do the final stamping right on the hill with this adorable layered Scaredy cat. And that is basically going to finish the card. Like I said, nice and flat, single layer. Now this release is full of really great stencils. There's some that are Halloween, some that are creepy Halloween, cute Halloween, and then there's also just really pretty fall inspired stencils. So be sure to check out the release, and do remember my coupon AmyFan10 if you shop, because you will save 10% on your complete order. And there is, as always, a master creator bundle. If you want to get the complete set, you can get it at an even bigger discount. So those details are listed below my video with all the products used. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll catch you next time. Bye.